we've got the results for our top 6 finalists, the 2007 Arnold Classic. So without further delay, let's meet them. These are in numerical order. Number 1, Tony Freeman. Number 4, Phil Heath. Number 5, Dexter Jackson. Number 7, Gustavo Badel. Number 8, Silvio Samuel. And number 13, Victor Martinez. At this time, I'm going to turn the mic over to Jim Raquel to put our finalists through the mandatories.
Okay, guys, you know we've been through this a couple times before today, so we'll go through it again. Quarter turn to your right, please.
All right, Bob, the top 6 have been established. Jim Raquel goes through the
Gentlemen,
goes
can we
through
have
the
you
motions.
step
Phil
back a
Heath,
little
Dexter
bit?
Jackson, Silvio Samuel,
right, to
Victor
your right
Martinez,
now.
Gustavo
Slide
Badel,
back
Tony
stage a
Freeman.
little bit more so
The
we can
big
see a
story here might just be the arrival of the last-minute invitee, Silvio Samuel, into that top 6.
And a great invite it was. Again, he's in some elite company here, top 6 at the Arnold Classic. Jim Raquel, head judge, is putting them back through the paces that they were at this morning. Dan, right now they are getting judged again. You can throw out all those scores from this morning. They are starting over fresh on equal ground right now. This is where coming back in condition at night, attention to color, detail, it's really going to come into play.
Bob, I'm going to need you to clarify that. You just said that everything that happened before this moment is thrown out. So you're telling me that right now, these top 6 guys, there's no point differential between either of them?
Not really. Again, and I'm using that term vaguely. Again, it's not. They don't really throw out the points, but I think everybody knows what I mean. Right now, they're giving these guys an opportunity to show once again what they have. This is where places can change, and if a guy happens to come in, let's say he went crazy and celebrated early, ate some pizzas and stuff, comes in smooth, you can lose a spot or two, and that means a lot of money at this level. So I'm fully expecting all these guys did their homework. They all look pretty good tonight.
Well, when prejudging began, Gustavo Badel got off to a very slow start. In fact, we were even critical. I know I was critical of him when he walked out, pointing out that he wasn't quite where we expected him to be. As prejudging evolved, as we went through the rounds and the comparisons, his physique came to life. And now all of a sudden, Gustavo goes from being an afterthought to a guy who's clearly in that top group.
Absolutely, and he's trying to catch up to Tony Freeman, I believe, for that third place. And he looks pretty good tonight. You can see he's improved even from this morning from those later calls. So Gustavo has done nothing but get better all day. Unfortunately for him, Tony Freeman hasn't lost any ground either. So what's going to be interesting to see, Dan, is after the compulsory errors are done here, that means after they've gone through all 8 mandatory poses from head judge Jim Raquel, is he going to start moving guys around a little bit? Sometimes they will. Sometimes they don't want to tip their hand. A lot of times they'll take, let's say in this case, Victor and Dexter and maybe Tony and maybe move them into middle to see how they compare with each other. So we'll see if they keep him in the same spot or if he starts shuffling guys around.
Well, it's worth pointing out that there were some big names who are not among this group. Of course, Marcus Rule was in this contest. He is not in the top 6. Last year's runner-up, Branch Warren, he is also excluded from this top 6 group. So as we expected, some real thoroughbreds are not in the mix for the title.
Okay, relax a minute, guys. Okay, instead of me moving you, you're going to move to who you think is going to be beating you or whatever here. So let's pose down. Find your position, guys.
All right, well, the pose down here in Columbus, Ohio, Bob. This is a real exciting opportunity for the fans to see these guys go to work. And as we ponder how this thing is going to play out, it's impossible not to go back to Dexter versus Victor. No doubt they
Back
will
up
be
a
the
little,
final
you're in better
two-man
light,
standing.
guys.
Of course, one of the big stories is also Tony Freeman, who continues that momentum. The arrival of Phil Heath, the highly anticipated Columbus debut for him. He did not disappoint. He will not win, but he certainly shows that he belongs. Gustavo Badel, as always, in the mix. It was really a terrific show here in Columbus, and of course, Silvio Samuel, the surprise of the night.
And you can see, Dan, here, kind of a decisive split off here. Dexter Jackson, he thinks this title is his once again. He kind of separated himself from the pack. The interesting thing is, look who followed him. Not Victor Martinez, but Phil Heath. So he definitely wants to put his name into that mix, and you can see he wants to go head-to-head and make a comparison between him and the champ. Where is Victor Martinez right now? If I'm Victor Martinez, I got to stick myself next to Dexter Jackson and show everybody, including those judges, that he is the best bodybuilder out there.
As a reminder to those of you viewing around the world, we encourage you to register your votes for the Fans' Choice, as we will be presenting a check for the Fans' Champion. And Bob, this might be one of those contests where the Fans' Champion might actually be different than the Judges' Champion.
You know, I almost fully expect it to be. It's so tight in there, I can't imagine that these percentages are not going to be split across these 6 guys, as they're all very popular. Again, Tony Freeman, very popular, won the last Fans' Choice Award, so it's going to be interesting to see what the fans think of the outcome here. And you can see here, Victor Martinez, oh, look at little shake of the head there. He's saying, no way, buddy. I got more than you got. Now Victor in there next to Dexter. Watch Victor. Look at the look on his face. He wants to have some fun here with Dexter. Little gamesmanship out there, Dan. These guys are having some fun, giving a little show for the fans, and I think both guys are equally confident that they've got this tonight. This is going to be real interesting and right down to the wire.
$135,000 first place check is on the line. Dexter, of course, has taken home that check each of the past 2 years. I know he's got his sights set on it. Once again, it's going, like you said, it's going to go right down to the end, right down to the wire. In most cases, the pose down doesn't even matter. In this case, you just never know.
No, you never know. And again, big Tony Freeman right in the middle of that fray. He's not giving up any ground. These guys are tired, Dan. They were put through the ringer this morning by the judges. Again, none of them are going to be complaining because they're going to get their rightful spots. I believe the judging was dead accurate this morning. And we're going to see what happens. These guys are going to get a little bit of a breather. Then they'll bring them back out. And then let's get the governor out there and get some checks going.
Governor Schwarzenegger is in attendance tonight. Arnold will be presenting that first place check, the trophy, and
oh, man. The podium is warm. It's just... We have a couple of special awards. We've mentioned them earlier in the show, and now's the time to give out those awards. The first one is Most Muscular. Last year, Branch Warren won this. To present the trophy for Most Muscular is the man who created the trophy, the Lifetime Achievement Trophy you just saw, from Joska Kriskal, Josef Kegebar. Look at that. That's an amazing, amazing trophy. And tonight, the Most Muscular Award goes to Victor Martinez. Most Muscular, 2007, Victor Martinez. Now the other special award is for the Most Entertaining Posing Award. And we had a couple of guys that tore it up out here. Presenting the trophy and the check for $10,000 from Gaspari Nutrition. You know this guy, Rich Gaspari. From NetJets, Peter Mirabello. And once again from Joshua Crystal, Josef Kegelbauer. Oh, this was a tough one. We had a special panel of judges, not the IFBB judges, a special panel of guys that checked out all the routines and decided that the most entertaining posing routine for the 2007 Arnold Classic goes to Marcus Haley.
You know, we talked a lot about back-to-back wins, back-to-back victories. I'm going to give a belated congratulation. How about the governor's crushing back-to-back victory over his opponent in California? Whoa! No doubt. And also, before I bring back the top six, the beautiful set, Sean Loganvuth and his crew. How about a big hand for the people that spend countless hours changing these sets 3 or 4 times during the weekend. They come up with something new every year. I'm going to bring back the top 6 numerically. You've seen them. Let's bring them again. Number 1, Tony Freeman. Number 4, Phil Heath. Number 5, Dexter Jackson. Number 7, Gustavo Badel. Number 8, Silvio Samuel. Number 13.
Okay, Dan
Victor
Solomon
Martinez.
along with Bob Ciccarello. We're standing here with Charles Glass as the highly anticipated announcement. The
Sixth
top
place,
6 have been brought back out. We're about to learn
$6,000
6, 5, 4, 3,
from
2, 1.
Vincent Jose
Charles,
Pedra
the moment of
has
truth
the
has
trophy.
arrived. Any thoughts?
Vitamin Shop
Well,
has the
you have the
check.
top guys out
They're
there.
going to take
That's
that to
gotta belong
Silvio
right there.
Samuel.
I mean, everybody's in shape.
And
This is a good call.
there it is, a great call for Silvio Samuel. No surprise there, and a great debut at the Arnold Classic for Silvio.
You know, a little water in the legs. Once he gets that tight, he'll be all right.
You know, Charles, you've always had a great eye. How far can Silvio Samuel go? This is a great springboard for him.
You got to understand, he entered 2 shows prior to this. So that's why he's holding water in his legs. It's just too much for him right now. You know, after a little bit more
Fifth
experience
place.
on the pro stage, he'll know how to control it.
Twin Lab Doug Andruski is going to present the trophy, the check of $12,000 from Jack Owak, VPX Redline. That goes to Phil Heath.
And there's the call, Dan, the golden boy himself, Phil Heath, in that 5th spot. He qualifies for the Olympia.
Tough
I think a
lineup,
great
I told
debut
you.
for Phil.
Hey, you know, you understand
They're all
this.
terrific.
All the other shows, there was not a lot of
Guys
guys
are
there.
all
Now
great.
you're going up a notch.
best
So
in
he
the
has to prove
world.
himself all over.
You know, if you put all the expectations aside, you just can't
Fourth
lose
place.
focus on the reality that
And
this guy
number
just
from
competed in his
Muscle
first
Tech
Arnold
presents the
Classic,
trophy.
finished 5th,
Flex
qualifies
from
for the
Muscular
Olympia
Development
again for the
will
second
give out
consecutive year,
$25,000
and it's full speed ahead for Phil Heath.
to
That's all it
Gustavo
is. Right now, it's
Badel.
full speed ahead, no holds barred. Do what you got to do.
And 4th place, Gustavo Badel. He really had to work to get himself back into that top 5, Dan. As like we said earlier, he was down around 8th or 9th, worked himself back up in the judging. I think Gustavo did very good.
You know, you got to understand something. By placing that low and pulling yourself back up, that's a lot of strain. You got to understand, the top guys ahead of him, they're really on top of their game, and they're ready.
The happiest
Gustavo
person
Badel.
in Columbus, Ohio right now has got to be Tony Freeman, who has just learned that he is in the top 3 of the 2007 Arnold Classic.
The X-Man is here to stay and a threat in any show he enters from this point forwards.
You know, Tony entered too many shows prior to this show. This is a big show for him. Plus, he still got one more to go. You got to understand, he did a lot to get where he's at right now. And so he's proven himself.
We'll present the check to Tony Freeman.
And there's the call, the X-Man 3rd place. And you can hear the roar of the audience. Tony has a lot of fans, Dan, out there. They like the X-Man. They like what Tony brings to the table. I think it's an impressive finish for Tony in his 3rd show in as many weeks.
But you got to understand, entering all those shows, his body began to fade a little bit. That's why he ended up in this position.
Tony will journey to Australia next week for his 4th consecutive
Dexter
week.
Jackson,
He vowed
Victor
to win all 4
Martinez.
shows.
Who do you
He did
like?
not win tonight, but there's no question this is a big night for Tony Freeman.
Well, it's going to be a big moment right now, Dan, as then there were two. Dexter Jackson and Dennis, Victor Martinez.
The trophy. Brian Dietz from EAS will bring out a check worth $65.
I can't help but Dexter is a little bit nervous right now as
goes to Dexter Jackson.
Oh, and Dexter Jackson announces the runner-up. What a huge upset for Dexter. Victor Martinez is in the winner's circle, Dan.
Two-time defending champion Dexter Jackson is dethroned here. It seems to be a theme in bodybuilding. Just a few months after Ronnie Coleman is dethroned at the Mr. Olympia, Dexter Jackson, the two-time defending Arnold Classic champion, is dethroned here in Columbus, Ohio. Charles, a big story.
Well, let me tell you, you got to understand, Victor has way too much size for Dexter right now. Dexter just got to keep to the drawing board, not lose focus, stay symmetrical.
Dan, he had to know the writing was on the wall. Never a good sign when that most muscular award, which Dexter is used to getting, usually goes to the winner, and a huge victory for Victor Martinez.
One of the things we said was whoever comes out of this night's show as the victor would be basically the number 3 bodybuilder in the world behind Ronnie and Jay. Charles, Victor Martinez is your 2007 Arnold Classic champ. He is now the number 3 rated bodybuilder in the world. Is he going to take another leap at the Olympia?
Well, he has the room to do it. I tell you, look at his body, look at his physique. All he has is room for more improvement, and he will get better and better as he trains. There is no flaw in this guy's body. Name what he doesn't have. You can't. This guy has everything going, and like Ronnie's always said, that would be the next Mr. Olympia.
Well, for Victor, it is his 3rd professional conquest, and certainly none bigger than this $130,000 check is presented to Victor Martinez. And really, Victor has arrived. He had arrived as a top 3 finisher at the Mr. Olympia, Bob. But I got to tell you, this puts him way over the top.
This is a huge victory for Victor. He took that first step at the Olympia this year, landing in 3rd place. There's only 2 guys ahead of him, but more importantly, he was ahead of Dexter Jackson. I commented on our show many times from that point, Dan. It was going to give him the edge mentally and on the judges' table. Looks like the governor's out there now with the champ. Let's tune in and hear what he has to say.
Congratulations, Victor. Fantastic. How long have you been training now?
Oh, 16 years.
16 years. And how many hours every day?
Every day, 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7 days a week.
And what's the next goal?
Next goal, to achieve your goal, Mr. Olympia. Not Mr. Governor, Mr. Olympia. That's too much.
One other important question. How do you spell Schwarzenegger?
Schwarzenegger?
No, I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to do that. But let me just ask you another thing. This must be an inspiration from Britney Spears, the little haircut that you have. Very nice, I like that. Well, it's good to see you. So where do you live right now?
I live in Washington Heights, New York.
Very good. Well, congratulations. Congratulations, and keep up the good work. We'll see you back next year, okay?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Arnold. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's a dream. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Give him a big hand. Come on. Big hand.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, immediately following the photos, we will have the final round of the strongman competition. You're going to want to stick around because we're going to have the final round of the Arnold Strongman competition, the strongest men in the world, and you'll be amazed at what you'll see happen on this stage. As soon as the photographers are done with Victor, then we'll bring out our strongman.